Hello guys, welcome back again. Guys, we're going to be checking a video today and this one is titled How Much Power Does Germany Have? Alright, I really can't wait to check this out with you guys, so please let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments. And if you're new here, I'm Lauren. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Welcome to the fam. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe so you don't miss out on my videos. Without delay, let's get into it.
Here on FTD Facts, we've gone into great details to learn about the many different cultures and people and different countries around the world. We've looked at countries as a whole, and we've done some what-if scenarios, as well as looking at what would happen if two countries have even merged. But definitely, today, we are looking at militaries, and more specifically, we look at the military within Germany and find out some interesting facts about this great nation.
Alright, Germany is a member of NATO. Is Germany a member of NATO? I had no clue. Really?
And the people that defend it. Willkommen everybody, my name is Dave Walpole and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where I look at people, cultures, and places from all around the world. Now today we're going to look at the military within Germany because, well, I'm not gonna lie guys, it's just our military videos have been doing quite well. A lot of people really like us talking about the militaries of different countries that we've talked about. We've talked about Sweden military, we've talked about India's military. Basically, if we've done a video about the country, we generally have a military video that follows it. But with that in mind, guys, if you guys want more German content, be sure to hit the like button on this video because if we get over 5,000 likes, well, we'll talk either more about different units within the German military or more about Germany as a whole. But let's get started, shall we? So to start all with this, we're going to look at some of the basic understanding of the German army. And unlike other armies around the world, it has a very specific name, known as Bundeswehr. And as for this particular army, there is a law that is within Germany that states that individual states are not allowed to have their own particular armies. And therefore, the entire Bundeswehr is federally controlled. And it's actually been the name of the army since about 1995.
The entire army in the country is under the federal state.
It's had a lot of different names. I'm going to get into that shortly. Because for the actual numbers of this particular army, Germany has a population of approximately 80,594,000 people. And within that population, there is approximately 29,540,000 people who are classified as fit for service. But within the Bundeswehr specifically, there's a total personnel of 213,331 people, with approximately 186,431 people as active personnel. And as for the rest of the 27,900 personnel, they are listed as reserve units. Now, like I said, the Bundeswehr was not the actual original name of the German army, and it's gone through a lot of changes. And with that, we got to look at the history of the German military. And since the army became unified in 1871, Germany has had over 5 different names for its army. One of the earliest names it was known as was the Reichsheer, which stood from 1871 to about 1919, when the German Empire became dissolved, and thus so did this form of military become dissolved after World War I. But from 1919 to 1935, it was known as the Reichswehr, which was for the Weimar Republic. From then on, from 1935 to 1945, it was known as the Wehrmacht, which was for Nazi Germany. Of course, that is the bad Germany that nobody likes to talk about, but we do have to mention it in this video because it is part of its history. But then it became known as the National People's Army in 1956 to 1990 for specifically East Germany. But as for the Bundeswehr around the same time, it was known as the Army for West Germany, and then it got its name when Germany reunited in 1990. Either way, when it comes to this military, one thing that's really important about it, it is the second largest military in all of Europe. As a matter of fact, it also stands as one of the top 30 largest militaries in the entire world. Within this military, one has to be at least the minimum age of 17 to join the military. And of course, for this particular military, you may wonder about conscription. Does it exist or does it not? Well, conscription for the Bundeswehr began in 1956, and it was a mandatory service for people of the ages of 18 to 45. But however, by 2011, conscription for the entire military of Germany became abolished. Also, when it comes to women in the military, they can actually serve as well. This is because women have been serving in the medical service since 1975. However, in 1993, they were allowed to serve as enlisted personnel and non-commissioned officers in the medical field. For women, however, the physical tests for duty are lower than what is required for men. So that's your basic understanding of how Germany's military sort of works and who's allowed in it and all that sort of stuff. But let's break it down. Let's go into some of the numbers. Let's look at how powerful this actual military is. Now, going up into the air, Germany's Air Force is known as the Luftwaffe, and it is the fourth largest air force in the entire European Union, and is one of the best equipped air force in the entire world. Currently, they have a total aircraft strength of approximately 714. Now, as for you, the viewer, keep in mind, guys, when it comes to these numbers, these are not 100% and not completely accurate, because, of course, certain militaries have certain equipment that is considered classified, so they're not going to release it to everybody. But breaking down this total aircraft strength of 714, they have approximately 94 fighters and approximately 181 attack fighters, in which the Panavia Tornado and the Eurofighter Typhoon serve as the main fighters for the entire Luftwaffe of Germany. Of course, for their transports, they have approximately 381, but their total helicopter strength comes in at 384, with approximately 58 attack helicopters. And it's also been said that Germany uses the Eurocopter Tiger as its main attack helicopter. But let's jump it down to the ground and let's take a look at some of the actual hardware that the ground forces use. For example, when it comes to combat tanks, they have approximately 434, with of course their famous and German-made Leopard A2 as their main assault combat tank. And within these numbers, there's approximately 328 in active duty, with the rest in reserve. But it's also planned that these ones in storage will be taken out and modernized and thrown into service in a future time. And as for their army fighting vehicles, it is reported that they possess 4,620 of them. And currently they use the Marder and the Puma fighting vehicles, both are which created by Germany. Of course, several hundred of these older Marders which were created by West Germany will get upgraded, but overall they plan to be completely replaced by the Puma by 2024. Also, when it comes to their self-propelled artillery, there's approximately 123. Germany also doesn't use any more towed artillery, but they do have approximately 38 rocket projectors. Also, I just want to mention the fact that when it comes to the modernization period that's happening in 2024, that is one thing that Germany is going through. They're updating a lot of their equipment and hope to be updated by that particular year. Now, as for the Navy, they have recorded that they have indeed 81 Navy assets in total, including patrol boats. And as of 2016, they reported to have 0 aircraft carriers, approximately 10 frigates, and 5 corvettes, with 5 more being planned for 2023 to 2024. Of course, they also use mine warfare vessels, which sits at 13, and they do have approximately 6 submarines, in which they use the Type 212 submarine, with 2 more being delivered sometime soon. As well, it should be noted that these particular submarines also run on diesel and are not nuclear powered. And for the rest of their vehicles, they classify as support vessels, with approximately 47 of them. Now, you may have noticed when I talked about the submarines, I mentioned that they were not nuclear, which may have you asked the question, does Germany have any nuclear capability? Well, the answer is no. This is because Germany is one of the few countries that, although has the capability to produce nuclear weapons, it has stated that it has no intention to. This all happened after they signed the Treaty of Non-Proliferation Nuclear Weapons, and as well reaffirmed it in the Treaty on the Final Settlement with respect to Germany, which was signed in the 90s when Germany reunified. However, that being said, Germany does actually create nuclear parts for other countries, which makes it a heavy participant in the NATO nuclear weapons sharing arrangement program. As well, when it comes to Germany, it is a major player in NATO, which is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is signed by 12 countries. And being a part of NATO makes Germany even more powerful than it is individually, because for NATO, if one of these 12 countries, including Germany, is attacked by a foreign power, other countries that are within NATO will jump and help defend the country. So in that sort of sense, it's great that Germany has a lot of different allies that are really close to each other, and it has other allies around the world as well. Of course, one thing that we do need to look at is the budget of the Bundeswehr, and as of 2018, the budget currently sits at approximately 38.93 billion euros, which is approximately 45.07 billion US dollars. And even though it is one of the top budgets of military in the world, it only makes up 1.13% of its GDP percentage, which is actually far below the recommended level for NATO, which is 2%. Either way, that is a look at the German military known as the Bundeswehr, a strong military that indeed wants to continue growing to at least 198,000 soldiers by 2024. So what are your thoughts on this military, and would this be a military that you would want to fight for? However, guys, my name is Dave Wappel, and I want to thank you guys for all coming in, and girls, I should say, for tuning in and learning about the military of Germany. And I hope you guys really liked this video. With that in mind, if you did like it, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. On top of that, if you guys want more content around Germany, or you want us to go further into the military of Germany, because I got some really cool stuff, maybe we'll talk about special forces or something like that, be sure to give this video that thumbs up, because if we get over 5,000 likes, then we know to do a part 2. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you can stay in tune to what we are doing, because we love teaching with you guys, learning with you guys, and all that sort of jazz. But either way, this is the military of Germany, one that has a vast and amazing history. Sure, it has had its dark moments, but in today's world, it is fighting for better causes. With the training of expert skills, these are the forces that deserve respect and admiration, as they go out of their way to put themselves on the line to defend their home traditions and ideals. This is the military forces and soldiers of Germany, the sons that defend what they call the fatherland. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, by the way, here's some videos on Germany, which I was telling you guys about earlier. Here's some military videos as well, which you guys should check out if you guys love learning about different countries. I know I do. But other than that, guys, we will see you in the next video, and you guys have yourself a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, by the way, here's some videos on Germany, which I was telling you guys about earlier. Here's some military videos as well, which you guys should check out if you guys love learning about different countries. I know I do. But other than that, guys, we will see you in the next video, and you guys have yourself a good day. Bye. I know I do. But other than that, guys, we will see you in the next video, and you guys have yourself a good day. Bye.